Just about a year and a half ago, I beat my first Pokemon Nuzlocke. After 5 years, dozens of attempts, a graveyard the size of Texas, and 2 survivors. And that's pathetic! So I tried again. And again. And again. Okay, yeah, maybe I'm kind of bad at this. But I have played Pokemon Heartgold 10,000 times since getting it as a present for my 8th birthday. And I thought I was decent at it. I know the secrets, I know the gimmicks, I know exactly where to get the Machop that clowns on Whitney's entire gym, and I'm extremely skilled at cheating in Voltorb Flip. But you know what they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, so maybe I just need to switch things up a bit. Something a little less structured and a little more random. Oh yeah, I'm playing Heartgold Randomized. The last time I did this, I ended up with a shiny Kyogre and cheesed the entire late game with it until I ended up wiping to Lance, who had a Magnezone that I had no counter to, so let's see if we can do any better this time. Nuzlocke rules, for those of you who don't know, you can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter per route, you have to nickname all of your Pokemon so you get attached to them, and if they faint, they're dead and you can't use them anymore. There's other hardcore rules that I'm frankly too wimpy to use myself, but without further ado, I excitedly run to the lab, button mash through everything Professor Elm has to say, and bolt to the machine where my options await me. Hitmonlee. Not bad, not bad. Chingling. Probably not. And lastly is Moltres. You know what? Sure, let's start the game cheesing early, shall we? I name them Scarlet and get to exploring. And I do have to say, these early route encounters, not bad. For Alligator, Magmortar, Glaceon, and Lugia, which I don't want to legendary spam too hard, but if we get one, we get one. I'm not complaining. I pick up an egg, whereupon Elm calls me in a panic. I don't know what all he was yapping about, but I go home to help him anyway. I run into a boy with the Chingling I left behind, ha! And then I learn he's wanted for theft. That would have been nice to know sooner. No, I don't remember his name. Scarlet smacked his Chingling once, and I'm not a weirdo that looks at other people's personal information on the documents they drop. All that aside, it's finally encounter time. And wouldn't you believe it, I get my for Alligator. Blue joins the team, and then right on his heels, Moon the Luxio on Route 46. This team cannot get any better. What? Unfortunately, this is a low-level Lugia that knows Whirlwind, and what you think happened is exactly what happened. So, no Lugia, but on Route 31 is a... no. Oh, no. Look, Garchomp is phenomenal. You'd be stupid to not want it on the team. However, none of my Pokemon can survive a Dragon Rage right now. Do I know if Gabite has it? No. Do I care to find out? Also no. So I just run. We'll find something cool somewhere else. Like a Clefairy in the Dark Cave, or a Haunter Egg from this guy in Violet City, or a possible Combusca, or not. Or we can just go fight the gym leader. Faulkner is an absolute nothing cake. His first Pokemon is a Baltoy that gets 2-shot embered by Scarlet, and a Spearow that Moon takes out in a single hit. In the Union Cave, we catch a Gorbis, outside of it an Exeggutor, and then face off against a Hiker with a Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet is a Psychic type in Blue Nose Bite, so I'm sure this will be... Bite did less damage than I thought, which, my bad, that was not my best moment, but the show must go on. Rest in peace, Blue, you were invaluable for the terribly short time you and I walked together. Now it was up to Scarlet and Moon to clear out Bugsy, and oh god, not again! Bugsy's team was also a nothing cake. A Cherrim and Trapinch that get taken out by Scarlet, and a Gyarados that could have been scary if it didn't get one-shot by Moon. Our rival was also cleared no problem, and in the Ilex Forest, I catch a Chikorita! Chikorita is easily my favorite Johto starter, and I was thrilled to have him back on the team. And then I run into Rayquaza. North of Goldenrod, I'm gifted a Togekiss. And I love Togekiss, but my flying type quota has already been met on this team. I'll just keep him safe in the PC unless something terrible happens to Scarlet. In any normal Heartgold run, I shamelessly admit to being very scared of Whitney, but unless she somehow randomly rolls her Miltank back onto her team, I don't think she'll be much of a problem here. I'm initially proven right when she sends out a Vileplume, pretty much just fodder for Scarlet, and her next Pokemon is a Gengar, which again could be scary if it didn't curse itself and then get killed by Moon in the same breath. I decided to take some time to hatch my eggs after that, the Haunter I got from Violet City and the mystery egg I got from Elm. Haunter hatches, I name him Violet, and my mystery friend ends up being a Houndoom, which again, incredible, but I have my fire type already, so here, this Cyndaquil can keep her company too. But then, back in Goldenrod, Bill gives me a Riolu, which I've always loved and have never gotten the chance to use. Yeah, that's about right. And as if the universe was rubbing it in my face, the rocket grunt I had to fight in the dance studio also had a Zapdos, which Scarlet brutally murdered. Family doesn't get special treatment around here. Once again, Morty was no sweat. Marshtomp, 1-shot. Houndoom, 2-shot. Ampharos was a little tricky. I had to have Leaf poison it and then chip away with his magical leaf, and then Violet took out the Abra. That only knew teleport. Pathetic. On Route 38, I catch a Bastiodon, which would have been cool to use if its moveset had just one more attack that didn't come with recoil damage. And then I ran into a trainer with a Wynot, and because I learned my lesson, I had Violet hit it with a curse and just stall for a few turns. I'm not touching that thing. And then at the lighthouse, there's a trainer with an Umbreon, which is just bad news all around for Violet, so I go ahead and switch him out. Oh yeah, Pursue, that's a thing. Cool, fine, didn't need this stupid thing anyway. Luckily, the rest of the lighthouse is pretty much a cakewalk and- Oh, no, not you again. No one on my team can take 2 Dragon Rages. Am I going to wipe to a level 18 Garchomp in the Olivine Lighthouse? I sure hope not. Better safe than sorry. I first have Leaf poison it, he eats a Dragon Rage, and I have to switch into Scarlet, who's only hit with a takedown, but I guess the AI saw the kill on Leaf, so either way, Scarlet's safe from a Dragon Rage at this range, outspeeds, and hits a wing attack. They do go down to 5 HP in the process, but one last wing attack kills the Garchomp, and what's left of my team lives to see another day. I completely missed both encounters surfing to Cianwood City because I was not paying attention to where I was, but once I reach the island, I remember that there's a boy who will give you a Pokemon because some trainer stole another Pokemon of his and he wants to keep the one he still has safe. Wonder who that could have been. But I accept the Pokemon, expecting mediocrity, and oh, yes. Oh, yes. It seems this universe has decided to reward me for my survival. Things cannot possibly get any better than this. Oh, wait, maybe they can. With Moon evolved and my team leveled up, I head to the gym to take on Chuck, whose first gym trainer does have a Palkia, but like his gym leaders before him, Chuck was no sweat. Kricketot? I know the tricks of this one all too well. So I stall and hit it with a wing attack. I'm sure it would have one-shot either way, but I wasn't taking any chances. And then his Rhyhorn gets one-shot by Leaf. Good work, team. Speaking of, maybe we need some new friends. Heatran, Bronzong, Shiny Toxicroak, Scarlet is killed by a Miltank. Wait, what? I didn't write that. Did you know that Miltank can learn Bide? I bet you didn't. You fight one of those things in the whole damn game, and Bide is not on its moveset. God, that fight would have been so much worse if it was. So due to my lack of foresight, my starter is dead, which is just great. I go take my anger out on Jasmine, whose team was nothing more than a pushover for Leaf. Dropped accuracy? Good thing Magical Leaf never misses. As a reward, my boy gets to evolve, and I do end up having to replace Scarlet with Kenya the Togekiss and Red the Houndoom. I thought about using the Cyndaquil I caught earlier, but that would only be fun if I had all 3 starters, and you all remember what happened to my Feraligatr. Back in Mahogany Town, I stroll into a little gift shop only to witness a murder and then get dragged into some vigilantism with Champion Lance. I don't remember agreeing to this, but free XP is free XP, I guess, and another Palkia! After unlocking the power generator room, I'm pounced on by Executive Ariana and another random grunt for a double battle, because 2-on-1 can't possibly be a fair fight. But in comes Lance to give me a hand, and okay, I'm still doing this battle by myself. I win, and none of my Pokemon die, but really, Lance, you didn't have anything else? One of the Electrodes ends up being an Eevee, which would be pretty cool to have on the team, but yeah, that's about right. Before I can challenge Price, I hop off to Goldenrod City, play some Voltorb Flip, and buy a couple TMs. You know, just in case. One of Price's gym trainers ended up having a Shedinja, which, oh, red! And wouldn't you know it, against a Salamence, Kenya misses a fly and gets a little bit burnt alive. Half of which I'm blaming on that stupid hustle ability, but I also wasn't risking shucking my Garchomp to this thing, even though he killed it later with the Dragon Rage and a crit slash, but Price himself was no sweat though. His first Pokemon is a Feraligatr, which, but Moon clears it easy peasy. His next Pokemon is a Kyogre, but water Pokemon are Leaf's specialty, and last is a Numel, which Shucky takes out no problem. The next section of this game is just one Team Rocket beatdown after another, and another, and another. It just goes on and on. When am I gonna be done with this shit? Oh, there we go. You know what? Forget them. More friends! Nuzleaf, Huntail, Bonsly, Dustox, Magnemite. My next and last gym battle comes in the form of Claire the Dragon Trainer, who I'm also usually scared of, but this is randomized Pokemon and my biggest inconveniences here have only been my own general stupidity. So let's see. Hippopotas, Carvana, Leaf Fodder, Toxicroak, down to Shucky. Bunnery. Also down to Shucky. God, this game is easy. But Claire doesn't like that, so she shoves me into a cave where I catch a Regigigas, Muck, pass some stupid tests, and get a Crawdaunt for my efforts. And now it's time to catch the legendary Pokemon. Or whatever that'll end up being. First, I have to fight these 5 kimono girls, who are normally hard, but again, this is Pokemon Randomized, and also I have a Garchomp. So down goes Noctowl, Mismagius, Drapion, Marowak, and Victory Bell. With the help of X, my Huntail, we scale the bell tower and face the Pokemon waiting there for us. I activate the encounter and... Zapdos. Scarlet's sibling, who it got burnt to a crisp by after killing my Riolu. It's back and it's stronger, and extending an olive branch. Petty differences aside, we're going to end this thing together. First Scarlet. And you know what? I agree. With every awful wipe I've had under my belt, maybe I was due some good luck. With Diamond on the team, we cruise through Victory Road, -1 Huntail to another Wild Rayquaza, and step up to face our final challenge. And I know what you're saying. Really? 4 Pokemon against the entire Elite Four, 2 of which aren't even level 40 yet? Look. I am bored, and I'm frustrated, and I am ready to get this over with. If I wipe, just give me a chance here. First is Will, who leads with a Why Not? And because I know how this thing works, Poison Powder. Cut and pray Why Not uses Mirror Coat. Thank God, use Cut, get countered, ouch, use Magical Leaf hoping it predicts another counter, get Mirror Coated, ouch, and win from poison damage. Next is Ho-Oh, and wouldn't you know it, Diamond knows Ancient Power. Next! A Larvitar that Shucky clears with Dig, a Paris that Red torches to death, and a Chatot that I just kind of make Red brute force. Next is Koga, who leads with Infernape. Shucky kills it in a Dig, Red takes way too long embering that stupid Pineco to death, and I'm thinking, why did I not teach her Flamethrower before this? And remember, it's because I didn't buy it. She one-hit KOs the Ghastly next, Leaf destroys the Cleffa, and Red once again finishes off the Kirlia. Time for Bruno. Scyther gets one-shot by Diamond's Thunderbolt, Lickitung is poisoned and smacked around a bit by Leaf until it gets switched into Quilava. He gets hit with a Poison Powder, and I switch into Shucky and kill it with a Dig. Bruno's next Pokemon is, Groudon. I get some terrible flashbacks since, believe it or not, the last time I played this game mode, I also had a Meganium fighting an Elite Four's Groudon, but that Meganium had Solar Beam, which is conveniently a one-turn move in the Sunny Weather Groudon activated. I didn't teach Leaf Solar Beam, and can only pray that this Groudon doesn't know any Fire-type moves. One Magical Leaf does not insignificant damage, but Groudon's Hammer Arm gets a pretty bad crit. Leaf is able to live a second, and gets a massive damage roll on his next hit. We outspeed, so I hope another Magical Leaf will do the job. Not quite, and then I make the mistake of thinking Leaf could live a third Hammer Arm. God, I should have taught him Solar Beam, but Shucky Revenge kills that monster, Lickitung, and Diamond kills the final Gramble. With Leaf down and out, I only have Shucky, Diamond, and Red left for Karen and Lance. So let's just hope no one has another Groudon. Chingling, pathetic. Hitmonchan doesn't quite go down to 1 dig, and oh my god, it knows Ice Punch. Luckily, Shucky kills it before it can do that again, but I did forget about that particular move. Diamond kills Mankey, Shucky crits the Heatran, and Diamond hits the Skunk Tank a couple times with Thunderbolt. I make sure to give Shucky a Yaki Berry before we fight Lance, and good thing because he opens with a Glaceon. But that's gonna have to be Red's problem. She and this Glaceon take turns using each other as chew toys for longer than I cared to sit through, but it finally goes down, and next is Donphan. Sure would have loved to have a grass type for this. My safest play is to send in Diamond and use Fly on the thing until it dies. Arbok goes down to a Dig and a Dragon Claw, and Lance's next Pokemon is a Latios, which, what the f*** is Luster Purge? So that hurt, but the thing is two-shot by Dragon Claw, and it's fine, we're fine. Mothim, easy. Last and least, Kricketot. And I think I've played this game before. I stall, hit an Ancient Power, leaving the bug with a Sliver, and fly. Missing the attack altogether and coming back down to claim my champion title. After a year and a half. I'm happy to say I had a much more fun time in this randomized Johto. Not bashing my head against the wall at every other turn is a nice change of pace. I'll conquer this region as it's meant to be one day, but for now, I'll take what I can get. A cheers to my survivors and fallen alike. Couldn't have done it without you.